pardon me, 1 day only value for the 3-hour show. And what is it? A prime rib roast that is incredibly special because I don't believe we've been able to present prime rib since the year began. Is this the first time we're showing it since January?
It is absolutely the first time that we've shown it,
and
yes.
it was very hard to find, even for us, around holiday time last year. So if you want to bring this home, 5 easy payments of $20 a month. It is the 5 to 5.5 pound prime rib roast from Kansas City Steak Company in your choice of classic, garlic and herb, and the traditional, and 50630. The price is valid only for today, and you will not see the price lower for the next 6 months. So Greg, can you tell us a little bit about prime rib roast and how this has become very much a holiday tradition for many of our viewers?
Yeah, it really has. You know, no longer do you only have to go to your steakhouse for a prime rib night. You can actually cook it yourself. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people, including yourself, found out that, you know, you don't want to cook one of these prime ribs because usually they have a lot of bone, they have fat, and you know they're really difficult to cook. So we try to take all the fear factor and that guesswork out. So we've taken all the bone off and all that fat off. And by the way, if you weighed all of that bone and all of that fat, you'd probably double the weight. So you're paying for all that waste and you have to do all the work for it.
Right, it's very intimidating.
Right, so all you're getting right now is you're getting this beautiful prime rib roast that you can see.
Look at that.
Fully
already
trimmed,
netted
already
for you.
trimmed and netted. Yeah, so we want to leave a little bit of the fat on here, and I'll go into details why, but it does help the crust get started. But as you pointed out too, that it's already netted, and the reason we net it is so that it keeps its shape during the cooking process, and that, you know, it cooks evenly from side to side. And then of course you're going to snip that netting off right before you're going to serve it. But literally, from you thaw it out for 2 days in your refrigerator. Okay, we can all handle that.
Right.
Turn your oven on to 375. Pop it in a roasting pan. Put it in your oven. Okay, that's it. Thaw it out, put it in your oven. Next thing, you're gonna use a meat thermometer. Doesn't have to be one of those fancy schmancy ones, just kind of a general, you know, regular old meat thermometer. And I've been using one of these forever. Take it out at 125 degrees, let it rest, which simply means put it on your countertop and just leave it alone about 15 minutes, and that allows all those juices to climb right back up. And that's recommended for anything large, like a roast, like, or your turkey or chicken or anything. Don't cut it right away.
Right.
After those 15 minutes, take that netting off and carve it up, and you're gonna have 10 to 11 half-pound beautiful portions. Your prime rib will turn out beautifully juicy, just like this. And that's why prime ribs are so sought after, especially in the restaurants, because it has a flavor like nothing else. And yeah, watch, I'm literally, this isn't a TV trick, I'm just pushing down on this, and you can see the juice is literally just kind of flying right out of this. Prime ribs, by the way, if you love ribeye steaks and really didn't know what a prime rib was, this is actually just the roast form of a ribeye steak.
Is that right?
Yeah, so we take this, we cut this up into steaks, and that's our ribeyes. So that's why, you know, it's kind of the steak lover steak. It's got that beautiful marbling. You know, it's got a good amount of, you know, good amount of fat in there. Okay, so that's flavor.
But that's what makes it flavorful and buttery and delicious. And
Nothing
by the
wrong
way,
with that.
Our testimonial line is open. If you would like to give us a call, it's on your TV screen, 1-800-395-1601 if you want to chat about it. Let me ask you, first of all, because I know there's auto delivery on this now, November and April. So I'll get more into that in just a few minutes. But we have the 3 flavors, classic, garlic and herb, and traditional. So what's the difference between the 3?
Okay, so right, exactly. So the classic is going to be like I just showed you over here, the one that you're going to get that doesn't have any seasoning or marinated on it. But you will get the steak and prime rib seasoning. And what you do right before you're ready to cook this, kind of liberally coat the outside, because the crust is one of the best things about the prime rib, in my opinion.
Right.
You get the outside of that, it's got a little chew to it, and then the inside has that buttery melt in your mouth flavor. So this one comes with the original or the classic version that you're going to smear right outside just to season it up. Now the classic, or I'm sorry, the traditional is kind of, I always say, like what mom or grandmother would make. You walk into the house and you just smell that beautiful roast going, and that's kind of carrots and onions, celery, thyme, and rosemary. You know, just fresh herbs, beautiful aromatics. I see you got your fork loaded up there. Give me a second. So that's kind of that's it right there. And then garlic and herb. Still our most popular marinade, whether it's our steaks, our prime ribs, no matter what, it's a hint of garlic. And then we've got our thyme and rosemary and sage. So again, it's not garlicky, it's just, you know, especially for the cooking processes it takes, it's gonna kind of develop that nutty roasted flavor. So they're really just all great complements to the roast, depending on which one you like.
That is the big gun right there. Like, it is so filled with flavor, and it's juicy, and it's tender. This is the real deal, and I highly recommend, if you got some of the wines from earlier, putting this on your Easter table. And I do need to let you know, you can have this delivered now or the week of March 14th. And I know that delivering now, I believe, is incredibly popular. So my suggestion, lock it into auto delivery, because you'll get your first shipment either now or that week before Easter. And then your second shipment is in November. So then you can serve this for the winter holiday time, however you would like. And your last shipment comes in April of next year, just before Easter time a year from now. And so your price and your 5 easy payments are locked in, even though our price is expiring at the end of the day, and even though you won't see the price any lower for at least another 6 months. If you do that auto delivery now, then no matter what happens in the world of beef with the prices and everything else, you're
covered.
locked in with your easy pay November and April of next year for Easter.
That's absolutely right.
Awesome.
That is. You know, I want to go over the cooking instructions one more time. And by the
Please.
way, they are in your grilling guide right here, which will come with this. Of course, you know, if you're choosing the classic version, you will get the steak and prime rib seasoning as well. But all your cooking instructions are in here, along with some helpful hints, some side dishes, maybe some sauces. If you want to make a great horseradish sauce, it's in there as well.
Oh, I love that.
It's right in there, so you don't have to sit there and write down everything I'm saying. But
Okay.
literally, it's simple, because that's the one thing I want everyone to know. Even Sharon I know Sharon's cooked this before.
Oh, it's one of the
You
two
know,
yummiest things I've ever made in my kitchen.
Right, Dan Wheeler's even cooked one of these before too, and if he can do it, anybody can do it. I promise.
That
you.
is
But really,
true.
it literally is simple. Okay, take it out of your freezer, or if you're getting it, just depending if it's when you're going to have it, take it right out of your freezer. 2 days in your refrigerator to thaw out properly. Okay. Next thing, put it in a roasting pan in your oven, 375. Got that? Use a meat thermometer. Never use your watch. Use your meat thermometer because you want to make sure that you got the right temperature.
That's right, because everyone's oven is different.
Everyone's oven is different.
So the thermometer is the only way to truly know.
It is. So when it reaches 125, now 125 might sound really low. That's really rare, and you're right. But the next step, which I said was resting, and that's setting it on your countertop and just leaving it be. While the juices are climbing up there, it carryover cooks about another 15 to almost 20 degrees. So that's going to be up to 140 to 145, perfect
That's what
medium
you
rare,
want.
and that's what you want. So never, ever, ever skip that resting step because it serves a lot of purposes, and you're going to wind up with a dry, undercooked roast, and you don't want that.
You know what? When you do this to that perfect temperature, the benefit of that is that those who like things more rare, because don't forget, that's the temperature in the center of the meat. Someone who wants it more rare takes a center cut. Someone who wants it more well done can take the cuts that are closer to the edges, and that way everybody is happy. Everybody gets the delicious meat on the inside, the delicious crust on the outside.
Yep.
And you've gotten this for 5 easy payments of $20 a month. This is the first time we have presented prime rib since the year started, and we didn't present it very much during the holiday season at all. This was much harder to come by.
Yep.
So the fact that your price and your easy pay for this 1 day only price is locked in for your auto delivery for November and then April of next year, I wouldn't even hesitate for that if you like prime rib. We've got Pat from Arizona joining us. Pat, you're here with Greg and I'm Sharon.
Pat.
How are you?
I'm fine, and how are y'all?
Great.
Very well, thank you. What do you think about the
Those
prime
are
rib?
the best prime rib
All right.
that I have ever had.
Oh, that's
And you
so
made it
sweet.
yourself, right? Didn't go to the restaurant.
Right.
That's
and
it.
I've been a restaurant cook since I was 12,
Really?
and these are the best prime rib I've ever had.
And so why is that? What makes this, in your opinion, such a terrific prime rib? What do you love about it?
They just melt in your mouth,
Right.
and the flavor is heavenly. And the first year I ordered one.
Uh-huh.
This last Christmas season, when y'all had them on, I ordered 3.
Did you really? Now,
You
was
feed a
that
lot
for
of people,
3
right?
separate occasions, or was that one big occasion when there were a bunch of people at your house?
At 3 separate occasions whenever I want one.
There you go. You
There
know
is
what? No
always
rules,
that.
Pat. I know. I like that. I like that a lot. And that's a, hey, look, Pat, you got to have a great prime rib or great anything. You have to really start with the best quality that you can get. And really that's where it starts. That Western Kansas, goodness that I talk about, that fact that it's an aged steak really makes the difference. And of course, you do your magic in the kitchen with those simple instructions that we give you, and it's foolproof.
Yeah, and in the restaurant, you have all that fat on there, and you have to cut that up and then pack it in salt, and it's a pain.
And
Yeah.
pay for
This
it.
is
And pay for it. That's right.
wonderful.
Yeah, and look at this. I mean, this is all done. I mean, you can just, there's a certain amount of little fat in there that's supposed to be there that helps all this going. But, that also helps that great crust go. Isn't that crust great? You get the outside,
Yeah.
that little chewy, that little texture you get, and then you get that buttery, all 100% flavor going on in that prime rib.
Yes, and I don't have any teeth in my head anymore. And I'll tell you what, you don't have to worry about having no teeth because it just melts in your mouth.
That might be the best testament we ever
Yeah, I would
got.
say
I think,
so.
you know what, it really is.
Well, Pat, I am so happy that we were able to have these back on the air because, frankly, they were a surprise. We didn't realize until just about an hour, I think, before the show started maybe, that these were going to make it into the show today. So I'm thrilled that you grabbed it while we had it, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter season.
And thank you. And they're worth more than what you're asking for them, I guarantee you.
We really
Thanks, Pat.
appreciate that. Thank you, Pat. You take care
Uh-huh.
now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Pat.
Bye-bye.
You know what? Pat does bring up a really good point, and I need to let you know that over 800 of these at this one day only price have been spoken for. Is that if you're just tuning on QVC and you're looking at the price and you're saying $99.98, sounds kind of like a considered purchase. It is. However, when you take a look at the price of a single serving of prime rib at a restaurant, where you are paying for a lot of extra stuff that you
Yeah.
don't even really get to eat, and here all of that extra stuff has really been removed on the outside for you. This, when you break down the portions, is an extraordinary value, one that will be expiring at the end of the day. So with this size, which is 5 to 5.5 pounds, which is currently the largest size that you can find
Yes.
of prime rib on QVC.com from Kansas City right now, how many servings do we get out of this?
Now remember, half-pound portions.
Half pound is a lot.
A lot. You're not going to eat a half pound,
No,
Sharon,
I'm not.
okay?
I'm
But
not.
let's just go on the high side and say we're all going to eat a half a pound of beef. You're going to get 10 to 11 half-pound pieces. And remember, this prime rib pretty much ends up about the same size, you know, after it's done cooking than it does. It doesn't
Right, it
shrink up
doesn't
a lot
shrink
at
up
all,
much
so you're
at
going
all.
to get all those nice slices out of it. And again, here it is out of the package. Beautifully marbled. You got a little bit of that fat remaining right there that helps that crust going.
It
No
melts
searing.
in. It's beautiful.
No searing. A lot of people ask that. Do I have to sear this off in my pan to get it that nice golden brown?
I've done it, but it's really not necessary.
I don't ever do it. I cook hundreds of these a year, and I've never seared one off. The oven does it for me. The little bit that we leave on there, and then the seasoning happens perfectly, so you don't have to sear it off. I mean, that's difficult. You know, you might just kind of mess with it. It's kind of heavy
hard.
to do in
You
your
need
pan.
a really big pan to
You
do
don't
it
need to do
properly.
that. Thaw it out, put it in your oven, take it out and let it rest. Take the twine off and carve it up, and you're all set.
And here's the deal. We have 2 ship weeks, immediately or the week of March 14th. And immediately we started with 700 of these. Garlic and herb is last call. 100 now remain in the classic and 100 in the traditional.
Traditional's my favorite, by the way.
Oh, it is, that classic mirepoix that you were
Love the
talking
noir,
about.
yeah.
It's like your mom would do.
It is.
Okay, so this is what's going on in March. We brought in 1,300 for March. Garlic and herb is last call again.
This is your Easter.
Traditional is now 100 to go around. Fewer than 250 to go around in the classic, and that's the one that you season yourself with the steak and prime rib seasoning that comes with it. But the fact is, this is the only time we have had this on the air since the year began. We only had this on the air for a handful of times during the Christmas holiday season. It's become increasingly harder to find.
Right.
But if you have this as your tradition, I would say grab this price because it will not be lower for another 6 months. The price, should our inventory last, will only be valid till the end of the day unless you lock into auto delivery.
Right.
Because then, no matter what happens, you are on the list to get this, and you are on the list to get your price and
You're
get
ready.
your easy pay for both November and also for April of next year. Because once you start doing this as a tradition, and I know this has been one of the long-standing traditions
Yeah.
for Kansas City Steak Company
Right.
here at QVC, when you go for just one holiday without it, something's totally missing. Like the whole
it is.
family misses it.
It is, and you know, I wish I had statistics on how many times people watched this presentation before they actually purchased one and tried
Right.
it, because
And realized how stunning it is.
and it is,
on
and
the
that you
table
can,
and to eat.
and that you can do it. I think that's the problem. I think
so
a lot
easy.
of people think it might. They're a little skeptical. Okay, that you know, okay, no, it can't be as simple as what Greg says,
Mm-hmm.
but it truly is. So you know, we do have a lot of people that do call in after they finally tried it and go, oh my gosh, I wish I had done it earlier, because it really is.
Right.
It's so simple. I don't even know how to cook, and I can cook this because it's turning on your oven, putting it in, taking it out at the right temperature, let
Mm.
it rest, and you're done. And you have this gourmet meal that almost most people only ever get in their steakhouse.
At a steakhouse, wedding, fancy occasion, 50th anniversary, those types of events. But I have a question for you. There's one more thing that we need to add to this.
Yeah.
Thawing time. With this size of this piece of meat,
Yep.
how long should we take it out of the freezer to thaw in the fridge before we cook it?
You know, I like to recommend 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah,
Two
if you want to
full
get
days.
ahead,
Remember
yeah.
to take it out.
If you want to get ahead of the game and it's out 2 or 3 or 4 days, it's no big deal. But if you just, you know, just to be on the safe side, give it 2 nice days. Put it, by the way, put it in a pan while it's thawing out. Okay.
Okay.
So sometimes when it does release from the plastic and thaw out, I just wouldn't want anything to leak out.
course.
Just don't put it in your refrigerator like that. So just
Okay.
put a little pan
Yeah,
underneath
just put it in a pan.
and that's it. You're all
Temptations or something.
simple, easy, beautifully gourmet. We've been having these for almost all the 20 years that we have been here. We started bringing the prime ribs, and you know, we really are proud that it's been a tradition in so many households, including yours.
And much harder to find last year and this year. So this is where we are. We've got those 2 ship dates. We started with 2,000 total. In our immediate ship week, fewer than 200 total. Classic and traditional only. If you wanted a March, fewer than 200 total. Classic and traditional only. That is not many left to go around. And I make no statements about whether we're even able to get any more of these